Okay.
I'll show your stream in the team chat.
Yep, for sure.
Alright. I'm gonna put the session up now.
Okay.
I'll DM you the password.
Yep.
Okay, Road America, and it's Road America, right?
Yeah, Road America.
Cool.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Here.
Hey, Better Hammer, thank you for the follow, brother. Appreciate it.
That's one of the guys from the stream, or from the...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I watch his stuff all the time. Yeah.
Right on.
He's a legend.
I was actually telling the guys yesterday, I was like, I used to... Actually, do you have a follow command that you can see how long I've been following you?
Yeah, I think it's exclamation point following, but I can just click on your name in the chat if you're in there. Let's see here.
Let's see.
Or follow or something. I'll find out. Hang on.
I don't know if I unfollowed and followed back like a long time ago, but I think I've been following you for like 12 years. And I was telling the guys, I was like, this motherfucker used to...
You've been following since 2014, July the 8th.
That's 10 years old. See?
The Counter-Strike days, eh?
Yeah.
Alright, let me get this password here.
So funny. Just like hilarious that I was telling the guys, like, man, it came full circle. Like, in the funniest way. Like,
I know.
never would've thought.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a question, though. It's so random.
Mm-hmm.
But why do people buy chests though? Like, can they make real money or like?
Yeah, you could still make money off of it for sure. I don't think it's like it was before, but yeah, you can definitely do it.
Is it through like another like site that you?
There's multiple. I haven't done it in a long time, so like.
There's so much stuff in my account.
Yeah, I mean, you could still get rid of it. I've still got a whole ton of stuff as well, so I just don't play anymore. So
Yeah, but I want to get rid of the.
yeah,
Because I don't use it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there is sites. I haven't touched CS:GO in, like I said, ages. So
Yeah.
all right. So I did a bonehead move. I bought the bezel kit for my screens, but they don't fit.
Do you have 27s?
No, I have 32s.
Okay, so I have 27s. Morad has 32s, and
Yeah.
they don't make them for 32s. So what he did was you got
Yeah.
double-sided tape.
And just stuck it, eh?
Yeah,
Okay, that's probably what I'm gonna have to do then.
yeah, do that. It's the same shit. Like, it's perfectly fine. That's what he has.
Yeah, I've got it sitting here with a bunch of other crap as well. Over on the far side, you won't be able to see it in the stream, but
You have MSIs, right?
MSI, what? No, they're the Samsungs, the 240 hertz G7s.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely double-sided tape them. I think that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
With like a low, like a stick rate of a.
Yeah, I'll figure out something. I just got the pieces sitting here, and I'm just like, wow, what a joke. What a mistake that was.
No, it's not a mistake because you can use them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hey.
What is that?
what we're gonna do is
What the fuck is that?
okay. You know what? Give me a second. I have VRS. I'm just gonna pull up. I'll get you a VRS setup
All right, cool.
because they don't even actually have any. They don't have any baselines. So give me a quick sec.
Mhm.
So go here. Data packs. And we are looking for the Aston. There.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
I appreciate the subs, guys. Thank you. Cheese 1 year, brother. Appreciate it.
Boys are subbing in hard. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go
Might have to walk me out of through how to do this because I've never even done it, to be honest with you.
to do what?
Put setups in. Never done it. Just always roast fixed.
I'm gonna share it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it to you. I'll share it to you in game. So, you want me to teach? Okay, here I'll teach you the right way.
Mhm.
With that.
Sure.
So go to Discord and then I'm gonna give you the 2 setups there.
Yeah.
Okay. So one's a safe setup and one's a quicker setup. Like it
Okay.
says safe and whatever that's on the VRS.
Yeah.
So go to your folder and then go to documents and then click on iRacing.
Okay. Hold on. Documents. iRacing. Yeah.
Click on it and then just
Setups.
click on setup.
Yeah.
And then find the car. It should be the first one, like something
Yeah.
Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And then just drag and drop it into there.
Okay.
That's it. And then you go in game. You go to garage. You go to my setups,
Yeah.
and it should be there. So click the unsafe one. So
Unsafe.
Yeah. So let's try that one out. And if it's too sketchy for you, then you can put the safe one on.
Okay. Okay.
So we're just gonna do the same thing as always. Like go out here, do some quick laps.
Yeah.
I'm sure you already have a groove for the track already. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty getting better at it for sure, but definitely need a lot of work. Let me do this.
do you know what a quick time is?
2:15.
Okay.
I put on a 2:17 yesterday. 2:17.6.
Really good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but like there's like I struggle with a lot of the corners, obviously, just because don't know what I'm doing. So, all right, so that's in the setups now.
You got it on the card?
No, so shared setups or my setups. Yeah, there
Yeah,
it
my
is.
setups.
Yeah, and then open. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And it should be applied and just go at it.
All right. Cool. You want me to just throw it on some laps?
Yep.
Alright.
I'm going to do
Inlane
a
speed
quick
limit
lap
is
as well and then
72
a lap guide
kilometers per hour.
for you.
All clear on pit exit. You can push now.
Is the Aston the car of the week that everybody's driving, or is it the Merc?
No, people are driving the Merc, the BMW. I just picked the Aston because I like to be different, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, at the in the lower splits, it won't make that much of a difference, but in the higher splits, it actually makes a massive amount of difference. So every car is not equal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like every car has its own balance of performance. So some might be quicker in certain corners or certain types of corners, or that's kind of how they do it. Similar to real life.
Yeah.
And then same thing as before, like don't worry about getting like, if your fastest lap was at 2:17, like don't worry about nailing a sick lap. Like we just want you to put, you know, about 4 or 5 consistent laps down,
Yeah, I gotcha.
kind of see where you're at, and then we can kind of go from there. Setup's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've moved from MX-5s now to GT4s?
Yeah, pretty much.
Attaboy. It's a good progression. Like, when I first started iRacing, there never was GT4s or TCRs or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was like Miatas into like GT3.
Yeah, Ferrari, yeah.
It's a good progression into the higher level of car.
That's last. Okay, Paolo, you need to watch the track limits.
Definitely feels quite different than fixed.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be way more sharper.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm like being hesitant on it or what, but
Yeah, probably are. it won't kill you as bad.
yeah.
That's okay. Like we'll go through it all. Like once we go through the braking points and things like that, you'll get right into it. I'm gonna do this one last
Leader
lap
has
and
just
then
done
we'll
a
Yeah.
2:16.13.
do a lap guide.
Overshot that. All right. Go to the pits.
I'm just gonna finish this lap.
Okay.
You can keep going.
Okay.
There's no damage on it if you touch.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this one lap that I'm on right now. I'm coming into the last sector.
Cool.
Track limits. Keep it within the lines.
Okay, I did a fly. I can probably do that. I can
The
do like a
leader's just
15-7.
260.03.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, yeah, 15-7, 15-6. I'm still learning the track. But I'm gonna watch you for about a lap
Okay.
just to see what you're doing.
Yep. Yep.
Man, night and day. You can actually drive now.
I don't know if I can drive, to be honest. Get lucky sometimes.
Well, better from when you were first starting, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just keep on going. I'm gonna watch a little bit more.
Yep.
Sector 1 is 0.35 off the pace. Watch the track limits, please, Paolo.
That was a pretty good lap.
Yeah, it was all right. Couple off tracks, just cutting corners too tight.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, so really, okay, you can stop. So really, I'm like probably 2 seconds quicker. Let's
Yeah.
say, in a couple laps.
Yeah.
It wasn't like my best lap, but right off the bat, I was able to do like a 16.1 and then a 16 flat.
Okay.
So, and then when I go to your laps, you know, you've done laps, so it's 220, 219, 227, and then 217.
Yeah.
You know, it's like massive spread. So, what I really notice is that you've come a long way, like from our initial coaching sessions to what this is now. Like it's massive difference. I can actually, you know, coach you properly now. It's not just like the basics.
Yeah.
So you're actually driving quite well, but what I'm seeing is that number one, you're creeping to the apex so early. So it's really hurting you on exit. You're braking a lot later than you think that you actually need to.
Okay.
And you're definitely chasing a time. So when you're seeing, let's say, my time, I think you're thinking like, you know, or you might be thinking, you know, that time's obviously achievable, or a 15. So, you know, let me see if I can push it a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
But what you'll notice is that like I'm actually braking like maybe 50 to 100 meters earlier than you are.
Really?
You know what I mean? So like these are the type of things, like as you go through the paces and as you understand it, it's not about I'm braking deeper and getting on throttle earlier. It's actually that I'm a lot smoother and I'm able to carry the speed through the corner with my trail brake.
Gotcha.
So I can brake early, softer, longer, and you're braking super hard for a very short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, you're really loading the car up and unloading the car very, very quickly, and that's why you'll have that understeer moment or oversteer moment sometimes out of the exit or entry on the corner.
Yeah.
Because the car just not able to take that smack. And you gotta remember, like, this isn't a GT3 car. Well, I mean it is, but it's a GT4. It's literally a stock car.
Yeah.
Gutted with some aero on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so you know, it's very similar to the real cars. And if you were to think about how you were to drive, you know, a normal car, essentially like a regular Aston Martin Vantage,
Yeah.
you know, you wouldn't be able to brake as hard as you are in that deep. Even with the aero, it doesn't help too much really on braking. It helps with really just the direction change.
Gotcha.
So just really carrying the speed through, knowing that the car is really not able to point and shoot. You're gonna have to really point and shoot with the throttle pedal more so than your brake pedal in your hand.
Okay.
So in a lot of corners, you're not concentrating on your exit, and there's a lot of straightaways on this track, and it's really hurting you. Like, it's just free time.
Gotcha.
So I'll stream on Discord,
Okay.
and then we can just go through a quick lap. And then if I do a better lap, I'll show you what I've done differently. Which
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do a little, probably 5 times quicker, something like that.
Okay.
But for argument's sake, right now we'll just do this. And you let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. Ready to go.
All right. So going to turn 1, I noticed that you were braking really, really deep. On the lap before your fastest lap, you actually did turn 1 pretty good. So really what we want to do is we want to kind of brake early, hard, and then really trail off into the corner. So as I pass, or just like as I get to the 3, that's when I'm braking. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm on my brake now as I'm getting to that 3 pylon. Once I pass that 3 pylon, I'm getting my peak pressure. And as I get to that 1 pylon, I'm then going to initiate my trail braking. So as I turn in, I start my trail brake. So it kind of works together, right? So I'm at peak pressure here. Then as soon as I turn, my brake pedal comes off.
Okay.
Or the pressure descends. The reason why it does that is because I need to kind of unload the wheels and let them freely spin, because as we brake and as we slow the car down, the front tires are going to want to lock, right?
Gotcha.
So now that you're trying to introduce a steering angle, that's where we get that steering. That's where we get the understeer.
Okay.
So that's why it's so important to trail brake. So when you're trail braking, you're riding that edge of locking the fronts, but letting the front tires rotate. So you're still getting that braking efficiency to the apex,
Okay.
but you're not locking the fronts for the understeer. So what you're doing is you're keeping the weight on the nose, and that's going to help you turn into the corners. And that's
Okay.
for all corners. It's not just this corner.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So my thing is I was braking like 50 meters before the 3 pylon when I was getting on the brakes, like in between the fourth pylon, or the 4 pylons and the 3 pylons, like right, like just before, like I started braking back there. But it's probably not hard enough that it's
No,
not
you're
really.
braking here.
Yeah, that's where I start braking. Yeah.
Yes, same with me.
Oh, okay. I thought you said to
Yeah.
do after the 3.
No. As you get to the 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
You're braking right here.
Okay.
So like it feels like your car's in the middle because you're thinking brake, but as you hit the brake pedal,
It's you're already
actually
there.
braking there, right?
Gotcha.
So you're braking there.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, I'm at full pressure before you are. And then look what happens here. So you're turning in way too late. So that's really late. And now you're
okay.
going slowed.
Okay.
But if we go to mine, anyways, we'll go to mine first, and then we can kind of go through it. All.
Yeah, for sure.
So turn 1, heading up to the 3 pylon. Bang on the brake. So a little bit later than you, maybe like half a car width to car width later.
Mhm.
So I'm braking pretty late, and I'm trail braking to the corner, carrying all that speed. So I'm carrying all that speed into the corner, downshifting to 4th, and then as I get to this curb, that's when I'm transitioning to my throttle. So you can see I have a little bit of understeer there, but I'm using the throttle to rotate the car. So you see how the car's wanting to rotate to the right. I'm getting that oversteer.
Yeah.
I want that natural oversteer.
Okay.
I need to push the car in hard, and then let the car rotate on exit with my throttle. So just as a cue, you're braking at the 3, just before the 3, turning in at that 1 pylon right here, and then as you get to the curb, you're on throttle.
Okay.
Those are the 3 marks you need to hit. So coming here, you'll get to the car to the curb like you did. Bang, you're on throttle, and then you're going to be full throttle all the way to the exit.
Okay. So you're downshifting at just before the apex, then to 4th, correct?
The downshifting doesn't really matter. It just, you're probably 5th gear as you hit the brake, and then as you get to the apex, then you're at 4th.
Okay.
You want to downshift twice.
Yeah.
So playing at full speed. You're just like letting the car kind of hang out and through turn 1.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I when I go back out, I probably have a 10th in this corner by braking a little bit earlier and getting on throttle earlier and really rotating on top of that curb. So this wasn't a perfect turn 1, but it is a lot quicker than what you were doing right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So what I want you to do is kind of brake where I am now. So I want you to almost be at peak pressure now, where
Okay.
I'm just initiating my braking. You can see that I'm transitioning.
Yeah.
So I've broken a little bit too late. I want you to kind of brake where you are already, but just be more efficient on your trail braking and your throttle application through the corner.
Okay.
So heading into turn 2, you're getting a little bit distracted about how the track, kind of goes off at an angle.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're looking at the apex too early. Sometimes it's good to look at the apex early, but what's happening is you're not using all the track. It's so important to get as wide as possible here because it's a massive straightaway. So we want to really make this corner wide, right? So as we go through, I like to hug this white line as long as I can.
Yeah.
Hug that white line. Once my car is driving in a straight line here, because there's a little bit of a curve,
Yeah.
and I'm driving in a straight line, that's when I know I can hit the brakes. But for reference, it's in between the 2 and the 1. So just after the 2. So as I approach the 2 here, it's in my A pillar. I'm in between the 2 and the 1. Bang. I get on my brakes, but I'm right against the line.
Yeah, you're right up on it.
So
Okay.
I'm setting myself up as far wide as I can on the left-hand side so I can make my entry into this next turn 2 a lot wider.
Okay.
So I'm making it wide, brake, downshift in the 3rd gear, or actually I hold 4th, 4th gear. I downshift 1 gear only. I get on throttle early because I know I have that traction with the higher gear, and I'm able to power the car out through the corner.
Oh, okay. I always begin in 3rd, coming into there. Maybe that's why.
So you can use 3rd. I did use 3rd prior. This lap here is my first lap using 4th, and it was a lot better.
Okay.
So what you need to understand is if you're using 3rd or 4th, 3rd you can go a lot deeper because you have the natural engine braking of using 3rd gear.
Yeah.
And then also you have natural rotation of the engine wanting to rotate the car going to third. So you're going to be able to rotate the car a lot better. You can brake a little bit later. With fourth gear, you're going to have to understand that you're going to brake a little bit sooner. You're going to have a little bit of understeer, but you're going to have super amount of grip on the exit because you're running that higher gear. And you're going to be carrying a lot more speed if you nail it properly.
Okay.
So looking for braking references here. We're passing that 2, looking for the 1, probably about the 150. Like the 2 is right here on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So we're braking just after the 2. So we're initiating our brake pressure at the 275, and we're getting the peak pressure at the 150. So
Okay.
we're getting back on the peak pressure 150, downshifting 1 gear, holding the brake, holding the brake, holding the brake, holding the brake, hold the brake all the way to the front side of this curb. Once we're at this front side of the curb, bang, we're picking up the throttle to 75% and all the way. Now we're going to step it all the way to full throttle, letting the car use all the track on the outside, really not turning the car too much with our hands, letting the car naturally rotate, and almost like we're inducing understeer by stabbing at the throttle. We're basically letting the car drift to the outside of the track so that we can have a mega exit down the straightaway.
Yeah. Okay.
So playing that full speed. And away we go.
Yeah. And placement down the straightaway doesn't really matter, right? Like it is all
No.
relative.
Yeah. There's no crest in the track.
Okay.
Only at, like Le Mans or anywhere else like that,
Okay.
where there's a natural crest in the road.
Okay.
You ride the middle.
Yeah.
So heading this corner again, you know, I'm following the curvature of the road. I want to set up as far right as I can for entry. So I'm at that white line. I'm looking for the 250 just prior to the 2. I get to here, so about the 225, I'm initiating my braking.
Yep.
And because we are going downhill, there is going to be a loss of traction for a very split second because we're going from a flat to a down.
Okay.
But what's going to happen is as we get down into compression, which is down here, we're actually going to gain up grip. Because we're essentially jumping over this crest, our car's going to get a little bit light.
Okay.
But as we go down the hill and into the compression, our car's going to get super grippy because it's going to have lots of load as it goes down into the flat.
Okay.
So we need to understand that as drivers and really use it to our advantage. So as we get here, I'm braking a little bit earlier than you typically would, but that's because I know that going downhill, I'm not going to have that braking efficiency.
Okay.
That's just natural on any track and any car. So here, braking pretty soft, and then I get back into the brake. So as you see there, I feed in the brake. I'm trying to weight transfer the brake to the weight of the car to the nose.
Nose. Okay.
I don't want to shock it. I want to introduce it. Because we are going downhill and over a crest, if I were to slam the brakes, I probably would lock up.
Gotcha.
So I want it. So if you watch my brake pressure here, I'm going up slightly, and then as I go over past the 2, I increase it, because now I'm actually on the downhill and not over the crest, not over the hill.
Okay.
And I'm holding this brake pressure at that 90 to 80% for a pretty long time. As I get closer to the corner, I come off of the brake because you naturally need to. As we trail brake into the corner, now I'm in the compression. I decide to turn in because I have the maximum amount of grip. Trail braking into the corner, holding this brake all the way into the apex of this corner, making sure that I'm completely safe. Once I get to this apex about here, I'm going to step on the throttle, open my hands, and let the car oversteer out.
Okay.
So open my hands and letting the car kind of rotate on its own axis.
So by opening your hands, that squares the car up for you, basically? Is that...
Yeah, so by me getting on the throttle aggressively,
Yeah.
I want to counter steer into the spin.
Okay.
I'm essentially spinning the car.
Yeah.
If I were to hold my hands like this, I would spin.
You spin the... Yeah. Okay. And that's what happens to me all the time because I don't open my hands.
Yeah, because you have shit hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah.
But it's true. So we're basically trying to cut that oversteer in half by opening our hands away from the corner, right? They always tell you too when you're even like in driving school, like when you get your license, like turn away from this turn, turn
Yeah.
away from the spin.
Yeah.
You know, opposite.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of how I'm basically not drifting the car, but letting the car unwind itself. So if I'm turning left and I'm on the throttle, the car's gonna want to naturally, with the right tire, it's gonna want to naturally spin. So what do? I turn to the right. So now, if you can feel this motion, you're turning to the right with your hands, and your left ribs are against the seat on the left-hand side, but the car is rotating to the right. So you're almost pushing to the left with your body, hands to the right, and rear tire to the right.
Gotcha.
Left, sorry. So it's kind of like that. You're trying to neutralize it, and that's what you're doing. You're trying to unwind that front end so that when it does grip up and you you're getting on a throttle aggressively, you're able to carry that speed and not have that slippage. Now, done properly, you're not going to have any of these moments like I had here, where I stab on the throttle and then I have a little bit of oversteer. You see how I'm pushing into it?
Yeah.
Done properly, it wouldn't be that wasn't too bad, but 100% would be just being perfectly smooth and away you go.
Yeah.
So you maybe gain about half a tenth from here to the next corner just because of how smooth it is.
Yeah. So that corner there, like if you go like far right there, how much track can I use on the far right? But do I even need to?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you want to be over top of this. You can even clip a little bit of the sand.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say stay on this bumpy curb rather than smooth asphalt.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to be here. So,
Okay.
Like if I were as wide as I am here, like I'm over top of it. And
Okay.
you can go out a little bit more too.
Okay.
You can actually be over here.
Okay.
So playing this full speed. Holding third gear.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth. Now, for sunrise here,
Yeah.
we know it's basically the opposite of what we just had down into that little hairpin.
Yeah.
We're going over a crest. So now we know that we're going to have no braking as we go over the crest.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we either brake before or soft light long. So that we're not shocking the car going over the crest here, because the car's going to get super light and our braking efficiency and the car's aero, everything's going to be all fucked.
Yeah.
So us as drivers, we got to know that. So it's slow in, fast out in this corner.
Okay.
So what do? Heading under the bridge, I brake softly early. So you see I went on the brake and then off the brake.
Yeah.
I go on the brake because I'm still ascending, but as I go over the crest, I come off of the brake because I don't want to lock up and lose the car. So I go hard, not hard, but 50%,
Yeah.
and back down to about 40%, and then I hold that trail brake all the way to the exit. So I hold that trail brake, and as I get to the front of the apex, I'm trying to pick up the throttle so that I can rotate the car around the corner, open my hands, and shoot all the way to the exit.
Okay.
Now in this corner here, I probably have about a tenth and a half to gain, so I can make it look a lot better as well. What you really want to do is, as you're here, you want to be your hands want to be straight right now,
Yeah.
because you can see right here the car is completely under control, but I'm still turning left. I should have my hands completely straight at this curb. I should be driving the car out. What that's going to do is just going to help you really gain all that speed out of the corner.
Okay.
Right now I'm plowing, so I'm plowing a little bit. Actually, my hands should be open up a little bit more, so I have shit hands too, and I should be driving the car all the way to the outside. But again, I've only done 2 laps, so I'll do a couple more laps and get a better lap for you.
Gotcha.
As far as basis goes, this is you want to be braking prior to the hill. Release the brake as you go over the crest. Hold that trail brake until the car is stopped. So over the crest, hold the trail brake. As we get to the curb and the car is stopped, we then pick up the throttle. As we pick up the throttle, we open our hands towards the outside using all of the available road on the outside, and away we go.
Okay.
Brake is full. It looks simple, but it's a corner that you can really make it or break it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For this next kink, it's going to be relatively flat. So what I try to do is I try to get all the way left side as I can. As my tires hit the left side, I'm turning in. A little bit of lift on the entry, bang, on throttle mid-corner, and trying to hold that throttle open as much as I can.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of moment right here where I had to tap the brake a tad. So you'll see me touch the brake right here because I want to get the car more to the right.
Yeah.
Even though the throttle's on, if you tap the brake, it'll slow the car down enough and get the grip to the front tires so that I'm able to point the car a little bit better.
Yeah. I have an issue with that, like hitting that corner just enough. I lift either too much or not enough, and I'm either in the sand or I'm short, like not carrying enough speed.
Yeah, so for me, it's really about turning. So what I like to do is, you see how there's like you see here how there's like an angle, 45-degree angle?
Yeah.
I like to drive, so if you watch my car, I like to drive my car across that angle and mimic it. So I come down, and now I'm driving completely straight.
Yeah.
Once my left tire gets close to the grass, that's my turning. So if you watch, I drive in a straight line. Get to the grass, bang, turn in.
Gotcha.
So that's like my reference for turning. just like, you know, as far as me getting the car where I need to get it
Yeah.
to. That's like, once I get it there, then I turn in. That's just my mental note. That's what I've done. And it's the same with every car. It's just a perfect distance for you to understand where to hit your mark and then turn in.
Gotcha.
So at this point here, it depends on the car. If you have more downforce, you're flat. If you have less downforce like we do, you lift a little bit on entry, right? Not lift too much, but 75% to keep the weight on the rear. And then we're getting back to full throttle. Your problem is if you're lifting too early and you're lifting full lift and you have that steering angle, you're going to get a snap oversteer.
Yeah.
You don't want that snap oversteer. We always want to keep the weight on the rear through this corner, so we're only lifting to about 50 to 75%.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping that rear weight on the axle so that we're able to rotate through the corner. So as we rotate through the corner, we commit, bang, full throttle, away we go. Now you're down the hill. All right. Play that full speed here. Looks really simple, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about technique.
Yeah.
Once you have it down, super easy, so don't worry about it. Heading into this next corner, left corner before the carousel, we're braking just at the 2 or just after the 2, so we're braking right at the 2 actually, but once the 2's in our A-pillar, we're full lock. Downshifting to 3rd gear, 4th, 3rd, holding that brake pressure to the middle of the apex, throttling out, opening our hands and trying to get the best exit that we can.
Yeah.
This corner is tricky because it invites you to come earlier because of how early this dip starts.
Yeah.
But we don't want to get inside of it. We want to come across it. So as we come in, you see how I wait, then I turn in for it.
Okay.
So at this point, you want to be, your apex should be here. Right? You see how I'm coming across it?
Mm-hmm.
If you're turning in too early, what's going to happen? If you're turning too early, it's going to push you out.
Push you out too wide, yeah. Which happens to me all the time.
Yep, and it's an easy corner. We just got to turn in late. Don't let this camber here fuck you up. Turn in late, turn and make sure that you're on throttle early. So we're in this compression. There's a compression zone right here because their track falls down. If you go in the cockpit, you can see that. See how the track falls in?
Yeah.
That's when we know we can get on throttle, but super aggressively because we have super amount of traction there. Bang. I'm on throttle. Full throttle. Away we go.
Yeah. And you're using the same reference from the corner of that track to push yourself out straight, right? Once you come around the corner, just to line up for the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
'cause I
Same
wanna
idea.
go- it's not like as my reference as the other one per se, but I want to get as wide as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going left on purpose to get as wide as possible.
Gotcha.
So going through into the carousel, I'm getting wide as possible. I'm turning in, I'm flat. I want to be tight here.
Mm-hmm.
Low to mid track. I'm lifting a little bit on the brake, a little bit on the brake to get the car stopped. Bang, on throttle, full commitment.
Okay, so you do break in the middle of that a little bit.
You're not sacrificing enough when I watched you.
Okay.
So playing at full speed, I'll play this corner full speed first.
Yeah.
I'll ride it into the carousel and you'll see.
Yeah.
Lift, a little bit of brake, get the car there, bang, on throttle, get the rotation, hold it, 4th, 5th,
Okay.
carrying all that speed, and now all the speed that I'm generating here is going to carry all the way into Canada corner at the very end.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So it's very important here as we turn in, and as we get to this point here, about the middle of the carousel, that we are getting off the throttle, holding this car tight by making sure we have the nose. Once we have the nose planted, we get on throttle. We're going to naturally rotate the car with our throttle.
Gotcha. Yeah. All I've been doing, I've never even stabbed the brake at all in there, or even just gave it any brake pressure. I was just trying to like lift and let the car coast. So that'll definitely help me pull in. Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do because when you lift and coast, look, you're going over a rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're lifting and coasting over a rise, going 170 kilometers an hour, you're
Yeah.
gonna fucking understeer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The car can't do shit, even if you're on slicks,
Yeah.
right? So you're over that rise. You need that brake to keep that pressure on the nose, and once you transition back, bang, you're able to use that rear planted. Now you're descending down the hill, and away you go.
Yeah, and you're full throttle all the way through there too. Okay.
And that's gonna give us an unreal exit through the kink and to Canada corner. We're gonna have super amount of speed. So into the kink. setting up as wide as possible
Yep.
on the curb. You do this pretty good. Turn in, 5th gear, a little bit of a lift before apex, a little bit of brake, bang.
Gotcha.
If you need the brake, use the brake. If not, I try to carry a little bit too much speed here. You don't have to use the brake if you lift properly. So I lifted not enough. I didn't sacrifice enough. So you can see here I'm pushing off the corner.
Yeah.
Or I turned a little bit too early actually. So I'm pushing off the corner, but I adapted. I adapted by just getting a little bit back on the brakes, lift a little bit, and then I power through. So this wasn't my optimal corner. I can probably gain, let's say, another 10th down this whole straightaway because of it.
Yeah.
But you were pretty good through there, so I don't want to spend too much time there. There, you're just trying to maximize your speed through the corner, so that you're able to so you're able to really utilize the speed all the way down the straightaway. Maybe make a pass and or defend into Canada corner.
Yeah.
It's a good passing area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going into Canada, we're holding 6th. Now at this point here, as I see my numbers here on the left hand side, I'm looking for my braking reference. So my braking reference is just going to be right after just before the 3. So as we get to the 3, about the 325, let's say, bang, full commitment to the brake pressure. Holding that, we're downshifting down to 3rd, 5th, 4th, 3rd. Holding 3rd gear, get on the apex. We want to power the car out. We want to use all of the power in the rears to push our car through the corner. We've done all of our braking. We don't have to brake anymore. If you're hitting your braking reference, then you won't need to slow the car down anymore.
Yeah.
Brake to the 325 in a straight line, downshifting to 3rd, getting to the apex, powering mid-corner, step throttle, full throttle, all the way using all the track. Away you go. Brake.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the brakes probably too early, and then trying to turn in too early.
Well, yeah, that's the worst thing when you're braking too early, and then you don't have any brake pressure on because you can't turn the car then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So braking where you need to brake is the most important thing.
Okay.
So going through here, typically in the GT3 is flat, but it's going to be like the kink. We're going to do a little bit of a lift if we need to.
Yeah.
And then back on throttle, pretty easy kink corner to do, using all the track on exit. But what you do here is what is going to affect your last corner. So as we approach the last corner, we want to drive in a straight line. You've been doing this corner pretty good. It's one of the toughest corners on the track.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched Wayne's coaching.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Okay,
I did.
So then
Yeah.
that would help you for this corner.
That's what I picked up on. A lot of it was I was trying to drive the car way differently before, and then watching that coaching session, I was like, okay, drive to the 1, like aim the car at the 1, and then get on the brakes, and then yeah.
Yeah, everybody says it. It's just a technique that, the corner introduces you to do something different, and then it really fucks you in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to drive in a straight line at that 1, brake, downshift to 4th. I hold 4th. You can use 3rd.
Yeah.
I hold 4th. Hold 4th. Stay tight. Commit to throttle. Full throttle before exit, and trying to maximize our speed all the way down the straightaway. So playing that in full speed.
Yeah.
I actually broke a little bit too early. That's why I got back on the throttle. So for me, because I'm braking like a GT3, I've been a couple laps in this.
Yeah.
I would probably brake. I brake just as I enter the dark concrete. But now I would initiate my braking point. So, where is the 2? I'd probably brake at the 2. I would brake at the 2 next time. So the 2 is right behind my A pillar right here.
Yeah.
That's where I would brake for my next attempt.
Okay.
Brake a little bit later. Hold 4th gear in my trail brake, and then I'll be able to get on throttle and power through.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's both do another. I'm gonna do another 2 laps.
Okay.
You go out there, you do some more laps, and then we'll review.
Cool.
Is there any questions? Sorry, I didn't ask you if you have any questions.
No, it all makes sense. I think I'm the gears that you're using compared to me, but you're saying I could use either or, but it's just because I'm taking the corners either too early or too late, and it's either pushing me wide or I'm coming in too close and having to stab on the brakes again in order to make the corner. So I need to just be more efficient on the brakes early, basically. So
Yeah, and that's all it really comes down to. So for the last corner, for example, you're using third gear because you're braking too late,
yeah,
and you need that brake to actually stop the car and rotate.
hmm
Whereas if you just back it up a little bit and start your trail braking earlier, you're gonna be able to get on throttle a lot earlier and really use that speed down the straightaway.
gotcha.
It exits clear.
You done any races?
Not in the GT4. I wanted to, but like I know I'm not consistent enough. So like I wanted to get a couple of coaching sessions in. I've raced like the Ferrari a lot, but that's about it.
I think you're ready for a race. But at doing 217s, what did you do there? Yeah, you did 217. That's amazing. I would be surprised if you don't win your split. It depends on the people. Like I mean, it depends on how many cars join. But
Yeah.
if you're like third split, you should be top 5 easily. Usually, what I like to say is like people that are about a second off my time, that's really good. You know, for an AM driver, I would say.
I'm not applying enough brakes there.
Where
Just before the carousel.
yeah,
I just need
brake
yeah.
too. It's not going to come in one lap. It's going to take a lot of frustration and a couple laps for you to get used to it first. So I would say by your 5th lap,
Yeah.
really right now, I don't want you to try to do a fast lap. I want you to brake at the right spots.
Gotcha.
So turn 1, you're braking at the 3 or just before. Turn 2, you're braking at the 150. You know what I mean? Like those things that we just went through, try to go through in your head. Because if your braking isn't consistent, then how can your lap times be consistent?
Track limits. This lap will be deleted.
Then
Yeah.
in turn 2,
Yeah, turn 2.
you broke a little bit too late or on exit.
Exit.
Yeah, so it's not you, it's the car. It's just the first couple laps in this car
Yeah.
are sketchy. So we just gotta really dial it back. And I mean that's something else too. Like right now we're trying to go for a hot lap.
Yeah.
But when you go into the race session, like little things that you're gonna have to know. Like the first 2 laps are gonna be kind of sketchy.
Sketchy, yeah.
Those aren't gonna be our optimal times, and we need to maybe dial it back a little bit so that we can survive and just keep pace. Again, that's where racecraft comes in. But as you practice, these are things that, you know, you should be thinking of and really making mental notes so that when you go to the race, you're like, oh, okay, you know, I remember that I did this and the car did that on the first couple laps and blah, blah, blah.
Nope. I hit the grass. That's no good.
Okay. Like I said, the first couple laps is
Yeah.
into the rhythm. You're not trying to go in for a fast lap. I'm changing the way you're driving.
Mind these track limits, please,
I'll
Paolo.
do one more lap here, and then
Yeah.
I want you to reset, and then I'll watch you.
If I can keep the thing on the track.
Well, yeah, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna coach you through it. You were really good. You were doing laps by yourself and like understanding, but now that you have to concentrate and look at braking references, it's really gonna be messing with you. So if you're braking at the 3, then I want you to brake at like the 325 first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that you're getting used to it, you can creep forward.
I'm just like overshooting everything right now.
Yeah, so I want you to be anticipating the braking reference and then really hitting your marks rather than trying to, because trust me, you're not going to beat my braking references.
Yeah.
So there's no point in you braking later. You're not. I don't want you trying to gain a time because you're not proving anything to me right now. You know what I mean? I need you to get used to it first. By you trying to make yourself quicker by braking later is hurting you so much more.
Yeah.
That affects tire life. It affects everything.
Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace. Track limits, they'll invalidate this lap.
Okay, reset your car, and then we'll go through the lap together.
Okay.
The leader has just done a 216 with the car approaching. Watch your mirrors. Stay behind the white line.
Just the first lap here is going to be a little bit sketchy,
Yeah.
so just take that into account. Visualize what you're going to do on the next couple laps. So here you're braking at the 150. Gear, not 2.
Yeah.
That's why you spun, because you broke at my reference. If you are going to use third gear, you need to brake later and harder.
Okay.
So that's the reason why. 1 gear, downshift at the 150, hold that trail brake to the front of that curve, and then you're on throttle. Alright, so here, think about braking at the 3 cone or just before it. Braking at the 150, down 1 gear. You didn't hold the brake.
Not enough brakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell as soon as you
Carlo,
downshift
you need
it
to
was
watch
just
these track
peaking.
limits.
I think it's just because I'm so used to downshifting all the way to third and staying on the brakes. So in my head, I'm thinking get off the brake kind of thing.
Yep. So braking just before the 2 here.
Not enough brake. Yeah.
Yeah. Broke too late. Yep, that was good. You can be more aggressive
Yeah.
at the 2.
Same
Hold the brakes
thing.
on.
Not. Yeah. I'm doing the same thing every corner now because I'm like thinking something else.
Yeah, so the what you're lacking is a trail brake. That's why. Too wide. You want to come tight out and then come down at the track on the exit. You don't want to be rounding it.
Yeah.
So for this corner coming up, you're braking at the 325.
Okay.
Staying left.
Touch the grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. There's no damage. Big hit. Rebuild. Let's go. It's gonna take time,
Yeah.
and through coaching, you know, if anybody's watching it and learning from it, like, you can't just be fucking quick after the session. You gotta go do your own homework too. You know, you gotta put it to work. You gotta really ingrain it in your mind for different techniques. You'll get quicker when you're not with the coach rather than right now. I mean, you'll probably gain about half a second or a second with me.
Yeah.
So braking at the 3 again, just before.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you feel like you're slow, and because you did not brake at the right spot, doesn't mean that you can lift the brakes.
Gotcha.
You felt like you were too slow.
I felt I was too slow, yeah.
So brake a little bit later then. So even though you think you're too slow, it doesn't mean that you have to let go of the brakes. It means you have to hold the brakes a little bit lighter and longer. Just because you fucked it up, you can't. Don't make it worse.
Yeah.
Finish your corner properly. You didn't hold the brakes enough there, but better. You didn't hold the brakes, but you did a pretty good job there. Fix it.
Not gonna make it.
Yeah, you're too aggressive. You're trying to gain too much time. Try dialing it all back a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice and calm. I don't want you attacking. You're attacking too much. Too deep. Broke out like the 275.
Yeah.
You have that whole straightaway to think about where you're gonna brake. For you to miss that braking point is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, like in a race, think about that. You have a whole straightaway to think about where you're gonna brake. It should be perfect every single time. Just like turn one right here. This braking reference should be perfect every time. You have this entire straightaway to think about where you're gonna brake. You're braking just before the 3. You're downshifting twice. Bang! You should nail it every single time. That was a little bit too much brake too long, so brake a little bit later.
Okay.
That was just your hands turning with the corner still.
Yeah.
So now because before you were braking so late you needed the wheel, now you're braking early and carrying the speed, you can unload the wheel and get on throttle.
Okay.
Still, you came on and off the brakes there at the end.
Yeah.
Commit to it. There was a little bit too early, but
Yeah.
not bad. Good save. Yep. That's just your hands not opening up early enough. Patient, patient, patient. Go. You see how tight, how much more tighter you were?
Yeah.
You need to be patient. Now we got to think about our braking reference, 325. So try braking at the 350.
Leads. Fluid.
There you go, go. Attaboy. You don't need to turn anymore if you're down the corner.
Gotcha.
One gear, not 2.
Oh yeah, staying fourth, right?
Yep.
I'm just so used to, like, I'm trying to get it out of my head to shift again.
Yep. It'll come. Yep, there you go.
Sector 1 is 0.9 off the pace. Mind these track limits, please, Paolo.
Nice. There you go. So there you're a little bit too patient,
Yeah.
but you're driving it better. Just a little bit. Now you can step it up a little bit more.
Ooh.
It's okay. You got a 1x there, but no problem. So same thing here. Brake at the 350. Open your hands on exit. Drive away from the corner. Yep. You saved it, but I want you driving away from the corner. Same thing here. I want you driving into that asphalt there.
I have to stay in fourth there.
Yep. It's okay, keep it going. Yeah. So you have to know the car is going to want to do that. So you need to try to unload it earlier
Yeah.
so that it doesn't happen like that, because now it's just bogging you down the straightaway.
I was on the brakes like stupidly there.
You came off the brakes.
Yeah.
You're outside of track limits there.
Yeah. But now you're realizing, because the problem is that you're braking much later and more efficiently than you were before, now with
Yeah.
my references.
Yeah.
So you're carrying a lot more apex speed, and because of that apex speed, you need that trail brake. Or you can brake early and Sunday drive around the apex, or you can drive the car properly and be quick. That's the difference. Before you were comfortable, now we're trying to race. So you need more brake there. So you need to realize that as you're going wide, I know you knew mid corner that you're like, fuck, I'm too wide. I'm gonna get off the gas longer. No, stab the brake, get the car pointed downwards, then
Okay.
get on the throttle more aggressively. You've already lost by being wide, so don't lose more time. Try to make it better.
Yeah.
You're down to third in this corner, not fourth.
Okay.
This next corner here is fourth. It's all good. Remember what I said though? I said with fourth gear you're gonna have more understeer,
Yeah.
right? So number one, you're gonna be able to carry more speed. Number two, you're gonna have massive amounts of understeer. Vice versa for third gear. Oversteer on entry and exit because of the higher RPMs.
Yeah.
With a higher gear, you won't have that. You'll have more understeer and push.
Okay.
So we have to compensate for that. We want the traction out, so we had to brake early and make sure we hit our apex properly, because we don't want to be turning around that corner. We want to make sure that we're coming down it.
It's too early in there.
Sector 1 is 1.7 seconds off the pace.
Nailed it.
Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace.
Too late. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
in a sec.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Good lap. That's your quickest so far. You're now 4.7 seconds off the pace. Sector 3 is 2.2 seconds off the pace. Sector 1 is 1.3 off the pace. Watch the track limits.
I'm back.
Please, Paolo.
I'll come back.
Yeah, you got it now.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
Nailed it. Let's go. Is that your best lap?
No, I don't think so. Well, best lap without touching the grass, maybe? Doubtful.
Let's see what it's gonna be.
It's 218.
Okay. So I'm just gonna after this lap here, I'm gonna pull up VRS. You have VRS login right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Why don't you stop the car? And then we'll yeah, get out of the car and then we'll let it load.
Okay.
Yeah, get completely.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, cool. Wait a quick sec for it to load up.
Mm-hmm. I just realized someone put in here, do you compete on this for cash? Nope.
One day.
Well, we'll see.
One day. I mean, what your goal should be is next time you should try to race for PES. Like in the, what I race, but if you can make the bottom 20. Okay,
Yeah.
So let's go for. See, it's kind of hard right now. Do we want to look at your best lap? But that's a lap before your coaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's just go to your best lap. You know what? Fuck it. Maybe we can learn from that. Alright. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna screen share VRS in here.
Okay. And let me bring this down here. Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at you.
Mhm.
Seeing if you're doing it properly. Okay. So this is your best lap. Now, a few things. You're braking early, which is perfectly fine.
Mhm.
Earlier, this is on your first lap. We'll look at your next laps and see kind of how your braking is compared to me now.
Mhm.
Major things that we need to look at is this. Right here, your trail braking is garbage.
Yeah.
There is
There's none yet.
and your steering angle is huge difference. I'm straight. I was trying to be straight, and you're 45 degrees to the right.
Yeah.
Right, and then you go down here. It's much more you're turning. That's because you're not. That's because you're understeering. It's in relation. Look, right here we're the same. Right here we're the same. What happens? What happens here though compared to me? You have no brake. I have mass amount of brake.
Yeah.
I'm still traveling in a straight line basically. As soon as you let go of the brake, understeer because you can't turn the car.
Gotcha.
Then you get on throttle, even more understeer because now you're trying to power the car through the corner. So this is massive. Now, even though you're only a tenth and a little bit slower than me here, over a long run, you're going to be like 3/10 slower than me here, like every lap. Eventually, once your front tires go off, you're screwed
Yeah.
because now you're heating up your tires so much more. If you want to know exactly how much more, let's look. You are 5 degrees more. No, sorry, this is your fronts. I'm sorry, you're 15 degrees more than me.
Jesus.
15 degrees more.
It's because I'm pushing the car through all the corners instead of letting it just drive itself, right?
Yep. That is massive. So that's huge. It's massive for you there.
Yeah.
So then going into turn 3, so you can see the line difference
Mhm.
heading into turn 3. Now this is again one of your later laps. You're braking a little bit later, but you're holding the brake now too long, and then you dump it.
Yeah.
So you dump it. You did this corner pretty good, like not too bad. I'm just attacking it a lot better than you are. See how I'm coming wider, I'm coming in, and then I'm going out.
Yeah.
So here, not too bad. I actually do like your throttle better than mine here, as far as trying to get up on it a lot earlier. But that's just because the reason why you're able to get on throttle earlier is because now you've overslowed.
Overslowed, yeah.
Yeah. So here, you know, you're beating me by 7 kilometers an hour because I've broken earlier than you. But then by the end of it, right here, I'm 7 kilometers an hour quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm 10 kilometers an hour quicker here at Apex, and then we'll be the same on exit. Heading down into the hairpin. Again, I'm doing like this step braking because I don't want to lock up.
Yeah.
So you're braking pretty good here. I like the way you're coming up on the brake where it's nice and smooth. That's really good to see. And this would be really good braking style for the P-Cup.
Yeah.
Your brake pressure is pretty good too. You actually have some sort of a trail brake, but you dumped it and then you thought, oh god, you like got understeer, and then you got back on the brake.
Back on the brake, yeah.
So if you just kept it consistent, you'd be able to be tight. But now, because you came off the brake, look, as we're in relation. You off the brake, more steering angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here, look, you come off the brake again, more steering angle.
Yeah, because I have to counter it, yeah.
Yep, yep, because you're understeering. You're understeering now. Go through here, I'm braking a little bit earlier. This is over the crest where I come off of the brake, and then I trail brake into the corner. You're braking too late, and you're slamming on the brake, and you're losing all that speed, which makes you lock up and go wide.
Yeah.
I'm able to stop the car and cut the corner, go wide and come across. So you lose a lot of time through here just because of technique.
Yeah.
This is the corner that we go flat. So you can see here I'm flat just for a very short period of time. I mean I lift for a very short period of time. Yours is a bigger lift. Now you're only lifting to about 50%.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference. So through here, you know, I'll gain time right here on exit just because I'm able to get on throttle earlier.
Throttle earlier, yeah.
And just gain that time all the way down to turn 8. Turn 8, again, I like your braking style. Perfect, but then you dump it. So what happens is, because you're holding the brake pressure a lot more, you're slowing the car down too much here. But what you realistically need to do is, at this point, let go of the brake and let it travel. So you're holding the brake too long, and then you're understeering when you drop the brake, because you think, oh, I've done my braking.
Yeah.
I'm done now. I don't have to brake anymore. So you dump it.
Yeah.
Look at this. You dump it. Look what happens again.
Yeah.
Understeer.
Mm-hmm.
Mass amount of understeer. 40 degrees more. Right? So
Yeah.
it's a very common trend with all the corners. You know, even through to Canada, same thing. You know, you dump the brake
Yeah.
and you get understeer. Look, dump, under. Right?
Yeah.
It's in relation every single time. You dump the brake, you're gonna get understeer. But if you held that brake, you would not get understeer.
Yeah.
Right? Because look, nothing's different really.
Yeah. It's just that when it comes to that dump.
This.
Yeah. So if I had trailed off the trail brake there and just kept a little bit of pressure on
Yep.
instead of I would be able to turn the car easier.
Yep. Well, yeah, 100%. And then look here, last corner. I brake, same spot. Descend the brake. Trail brake. Here at the most important part, because I want to make sure I'm tight and at the corner. You pick up the throttle so early,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're pushing wide. Then you have the understeer, oversteer. It's just a disaster.
Yeah.
Now, that was your fastest lap. Let's go to your recent laps to see actually. Yeah, okay, this is your best lap since we went through some stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see how your lap is now. So now, because you're concentrating on so many things, it's making it a lot worse for you. So you're 0.6 slower in just this corner.
Yeah.
In turn 1. So you're just braking too hard now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to stop the car too quickly. That's why you feel like you have to get off the brake.
Yeah.
So you have to brake to that 70% threshold and then trail brake off. That'll fix your turn 1.
Okay.
Your turn 2, same thing. Perfect braking on initial, perfect middle, shit exit. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to hold the brake a little bit longer. You think that you're overslowing, but in reality you're not. I mean, the reason why you feel like you're overslowing is because your exit out of turn 1 was so crap.
Yeah.
I'm 5 kilometers an hour quicker. So what that means for you is you should be braking later, because if you brake at the same spot, you're gonna be slow here, right? Or you're gonna be slow here, right? Because you broke in too early, or sorry, you broke already in a negative that I'm gaining on you because I'm braking at the right spot. You're braking at the same spot, but you're scrubbing off too much speed now because you've overslowed out of the exit of turn 1.
Yeah.
See how they connect?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then turn 3, or sorry, because of my exit out of turn 3, I gained 0.3 almost on turn in the straightaway,
Mm-hmm.
which is free time. Okay. Again, trail brake is a massive issue. You're gonna have understeer, which you have. You broke it early, which is okay, but then you dump it. So no dumping. Better in this corner here, a lot better. You have somewhat of a trail brake, and your braking technique's a lot better through this corner now. So that's good for you. Through this corner here, way better. A little bit of a flat, or a little bit of a lift, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. You're doing a lot better through here. A lot better through here as well. Just again, no trail brake. So you see, it almost feels like you're doing it the exact same, but then in this moment here is where it all goes wrong.
Yeah. So if I'm holding, so I guess my question is when I'm on the brake in the corner and I'm about to hit the apex, and say I hit the apex, I should be.
Brakes, though.
You still have to hold the brakes through the apex and then power out of the corner. Because I think all I'm doing is I'm getting to the apex. I've finished my brake, I think, and then I just dump it and hit the throttle, which is killing me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Now through the carousel, like I mean, look, we're the exact same, 0.008. Like
Yeah.
now you're doing a perfect sacrificing on the brake a little bit, power out.
Yeah.
So that's really good. But through the kink, where it's basically a flat corner, we have to be more better with our lift. So we don't want to be lifting at 0%. We want to be lifting and then back on.
Okay.
So you're scrubbing off too much speed, and look how much steering wheel you have.
Yeah.
66 degrees more. You don't need to turn in. Just gradually turn the wheel. You don't have to stab at it. Just gradually turn the wheel. You're scrubbing off too much speed.
Okay.
Here, you're braking a little bit too early. Again, you dropped it, and then you got the understeer.
Yeah.
And the last corner, you kind of had a trail brake, but again, you had understeer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back out.
Yeah.
And let's try to get that understeering more, back in control.
Okay.
If it exit looks clear.
Same thing, off the brake.
No, that wasn't off the brake. That was
First lap?
when you're pushing.
Yellow flag. Keep your
It's
wits
weird.
about
I don't feel like I'm pushing, It's
But the tires are on ice.
yeah.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What are you wearing, BB?
Lift early. That's better. See how much more smooth that is?
Yeah. This needs to be fourth. That was supposed to be
There you
fourth
go.
gear, though, right?
No, third gear. That was perfect.
Third gear. Okay.
Yeah, it was great. So you need to brake a little bit later there. You overslowed. You saw that.
Yeah. Did it again.
Nope, that was your hands. That was your hands. That was perfect. Your hands were not opening up on the exit. Because you're so used to not trail braking
Yeah.
and you're forcing the car to turn, your hands are never in the right position now. So now trust the car's going to be there by turning less and then getting on throttle and turning away.
Okay. Too early on the brakes.
Yeah. Well, too late on the brakes to me.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay.
Dial it in, dial it in. That was no brakes.
No brakes. Yeah.
It's frustrating, I know. I want you to be frustrated, and it's breaking really bad habits. And the only way to do it is by doing it like this, and it almost feels like you're hitting your head against a brick wall, but
You probably feel like that's what it is. Must be rough, yeah.
for me, I don't care. For me, I love teaching people. That's what I like to do. I mean, for you,
Yeah.
it's going to be frustrating because you're trying to break a bad habit. But all it takes is just holding that brake a little bit longer. Don't worry about, oh my god, I'm not carrying enough speed. Fuck it. Obviously, my telemetry is showing you what to do.
Yeah.
Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
There we go. There we go.
Sector 3 is 0.28 off the pace.
have to open your hands a little bit better there.
Yeah.
That's holding your brakes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Go and validate this lap. Track limits.
If you're ever green on your delta,
Yeah.
or you think you're like, oh man, it's gonna be a quick lap, like you just turn off the delta entirely and just try to get down perfection, like
Yeah.
consistency. That was a great exit. That was really good. Again, lift a little bit early and power through.
Okay.
Better. Better.
I was on the gas too early.
You didn't hold the brake enough. Like, you have to be positioned properly to get on the throttle properly.
Okay, Paolo, you need to watch the track limits.
Not holding the brake long enough. You came off of it. You're not slowing down enough. Hold that brake. I want you to stop the car in the apex. I don't want you stopping the car on the initial braking zone. I want you to stop the car at the apex. Oh, that's a little bit of grass. Okay, good save. Yep.
You're a second off the pace in sector 1.
There you go. That was just you getting clipped up on the curb. Perfect.
Sector 2's a second off the pace.
There we go. Damn it.
God. It's just trying to get the consistency of when to release the brake and like.
You're doing better. A lot better. A lot better.
Sector 1 is 1.4
Turning
seconds
early, but-
off the pace. We need to watch these track
Yeah,
limits.
turn in a little bit later there because you never want to drop your tire on the inside. There's like a dip,
Yeah.
and it really, really messes you up.
Not enough brake. I let it off.
Yeah, and this is the moment where the coaching really has a lot of effect, where you're gonna go into your own practice session or officials, and you're really gonna do a lot better. Like you're really gonna understand what it means to, you know, you're really gonna understand what it means to actually trail brake and how it feels, and you're gonna compare lap times to other guys, and you'll see, you'll climb, and these are techniques that'll make you better.
Yeah.
I love how you're driving a lot more smooth and controlled. That's what I want to see. Nailed it. Yeah, let's not lose focus now. Let's finish a good lap.
Okay, Paolo, we need
You
to watch
have to
these track
anticipate that
limits.
earlier.
Yeah. I felt it going. I just didn't react to it.
Yeah.
I turned in way too early.
Yep.
Slap
It's
up being
good that,
validated. Watch the track
you know,
limits.
it's not always about, it is about, you know, the coach or me coaching you what to do and walking you through, but it's even more important for you to go through your own paces and understand and get taught of what is doing what. You know, understand how to drive the track properly and why you're not driving it properly. So now when you're going through the corners, it's not that you're guessing every time. You're like, oh fuck, I didn't do this. You know?
Yeah. Feel like I was pushing the car through those last two corners.
Not too bad. I mean, yeah, it could be cleaner, but it wasn't too bad. Let's really try to do a nice clean lap on this one.
Yeah.
There you could have been on throttle a lot more.
Sector 1 is 1.1 seconds off the pace.
Nice.
Oh, Paolo. Track limits. What the hell's wrong with you?
After this lap, stop the car.
Okay.
Okay. So number one, your consistency is unreal. You can do 17s, but the reason why you're not able to consistently sustain it is because you're turning the car, like you're still turning the wheel a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So that's gonna, that's gonna hurt your front end bite. So what you can do is you can actually put the brake bias a little bit backwards as the race goes on, so that you can get that natural rotation from the brake.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I mean, man, you're in the 18s like nonstop. Like your last laps are 18, 18, 18, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like you're doing 18.8, 18.6, and then 18 flat.
Yeah.
So we have to get your consistency to a point where, you know, you're doing high 17s to really low 18s every single lap. Like, let's say a 4/10 spread is what we want, but we don't want a 4/10 spread every lap. We want to keep it within a tenth or two every lap, and then on the bad laps it's like a 4/10 spread. So when you're practicing and you're going through like the officials, really concentrate on that. I think you should do races.
Okay.
I can give you, I think there's a quality setup. Let me give you the quality setup too.
Okay.
I'll send that to you so that you can do races. I really do think you should do some races and just practice because you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, be as clean as possible. Number one. So you never want to hit anybody.
No, of course.
You know, you have the speed, man. Like you actually have the knowledge now, and you're getting better and better and better. And it's you're doing the proper way with doing the coaching in the beginning, like whenever you can.
Yeah.
And it's making a massive difference for you.
Yeah.
I would really concentrate on your trail braking. It's really gonna help you rotate the car, as you obviously saw.
Yeah.
Something so simple can mean something so great from a lap time. And really, like you saw, like you and I aren't really doing anything too different. Some corners you may be doing it better than I am.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm still getting a better exit. So it's really just being understanding. I sent you the quality setups.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just understanding, like, okay, you know, through turn one, did I overslow? Yeah, like a lot of times in turn one, you overslowed it a lot. So you know, now that you're braking more efficiently, you can actually brake a little bit later,
Yeah.
right? In other corners, this the vice versa. So it's all about carrying that minimum speed, and once you're on it, once you feel that minimum speed, you're able to control it on that limbo of too much and too little. That's where we want to get you. We want to make sure that you're doing everything correctly first. So how do we do that? First, we look at the braking zones. Okay, your braking zones are a lot better. Some of them are a little bit too long still. We'll change them. You know, you'll change that based on how many laps you do.
Yeah.
Then the next thing we do, throttle and hands. Okay, I'm still getting a lot of oversteer out of turn two and some other corners. Like, how do I fix that? Okay, I'm gonna, instead of stomping on the throttle, I'm gonna go to a 50% pressure, open my hands, then go to full, so the car's gonna be settled. You know, little steps like that. So first braking, then mid corner, and then exit. Okay, I'm settled. I know where I'm going. Perfect. You know, and then it's your line choice after that. So it all really like encompasses into one of how you're driving. But you are trail braking. I see you trying to trail brake like harder and longer.
Yeah.
But you want it to be natural, where you're braking to a peak pressure and then coming off early. Because if you brake too long at a higher peak pressure, you're going to overslow the car, which is going to make you let go of the brake. So what we want to do, we want to split that difference. We want to brake hard and come off of it early, so that we can trail brake all the way to the apex. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. If that's what I find, is that I'm either applying the brake too hard and then, like you said, overslowing the car, or I'm not giving enough brake and then I'm trying to stomp the brake even harder too late, which is, you know, sending me off into the grass. So
yeah, exactly. So maybe I don't know about the pedals that you have, but having like a is your pedal soft or hard?
it's medium right now. It's the Asatex, the Invictus. So it's a pretty firm feel anyway. Like I get, there's really only like 2 centimeters of travel on this thing. Like it's not a lot. So
that's how mine is too. Like mine's pretty stiff as well.
yeah.
It's just, you want that feeling. Okay, so when you push against the brake pedal, you want that feeling of you push,
Yeah.
and then after you want the brake to be pushing up against your foot, so that you're pushing up into it to trail brake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very very small movement.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna just practicing the trail braking, because obviously that's like one of my biggest faults right now, is that my hands like that.
Well,
And
one thing correlates to the other.
Yeah.
The reason why your hands are shit is because you're so used to being off the brake
Yeah.
and turning your hands so much and being on the throttle.
yeah, Yeah.
But now because you're carrying so much speed in and you have a more of a rake angle where like you're actually pointing the car with that trail brake with your hands and the throttle, you're pointing way too much, and that's why now you're spinning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good thing, but now because you're trail braking, you're in the right spot. We need to open our hands. We have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to, or it won't work out for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's definitely eye-opening to see, like, from what I was doing to what I'm doing now, like, the car feels more comfortable, like, if that makes sense. Like, it...
Well, you're more under control now because now
Yeah.
it's more predictable. You're not... Every lap that you went into, I guarantee you were never looking at a braking reference. You were guessing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
never want to guess. We want to know exactly what, we want to know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Think about an F1 driver. You think they're going into a corner without knowing what they're going to do?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a disaster.
So that's how we have to think. We have to think, okay, what can we do? How do we make it easier on ourselves? How do we get consistent?
Yeah.
Now, some corners are going to be depth corners. Like for me, I really don't look at the references. It's all depth for me.
Yeah.
But I've looked at them so many times that I know where I am relative to the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you get to that point, that's a different level.
Yeah.
But there's some corners where I know, like some corners that are very important, like the last corner or Canada corner where you're coming in at such a high clip. You want to make sure you're hitting it because you really don't have no room for error. Or like the first turn one. There's some corners where I really look at the references and some of them that I don't.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, it's just, I think the other thing too is, like, I'm still really learning all the tracks. Like, it's all pretty fresh for me. So, like, learning,
100%.
like, this track, I started practicing it before I went on vacation because I was like, okay, like, I want to come back and race on this track, but I wasn't sure, like, how or what it was going to look like. So I did 400 and 500 laps on this track before. So I had a baseline coming into today, and then today is completely different. Like, it's changed the way I look at the track completely. So,
Well, and that's what you should be doing. Like, you should never be coming
That's the end of
into
the
a
session,
coaching
P2.
session blind.
yeah.
Like, it's just a waste of money.
Yeah,
So
no,
like,
no kidding.
so like here, like you gained only a couple tenths
Yeah,
from your fastest lap.
yeah,
But your consistency is a lot better.
yeah,
And now I guarantee you, go into a practice session later on tonight
yeah,
or tomorrow. Every time you do laps and you think about what I've told you and showed you and how you're supposed to actually how you're actually supposed to use it and
Yeah.
perform.
Yeah.
You're gonna see your lap times coming slowly down and down and down. Then you're gonna think, okay, what are things I can do? I'm gonna brake hard and trail brake earlier, so I'm carrying more speed into the corner, and that's where the speed comes from.
yeah. No
It's not
doubt.
that you're braking later on throttle. It's that you're braking harder for a shorter period of time and trail braking longer,
Yeah,
so that you can really hold that speed. You know what I mean? And not decel the car as much as you want.
Yeah.
Or as much as you might think.
yeah. No, for sure. No, I appreciate it. No, that's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, and we'll touch base very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, buddy. Send me some lap times after you do some. See how it goes.
I will, for sure. I appreciate it. Thanks, Stu.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, man.
Talk, buddy.
All right, later.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was Stu the Legend. Definitely eye-opening on that. Makes you really look at things a lot differently when you're racing. What's up, Gun? I didn't say hi to you yet. Spooky, I know, is probably not here anymore. Thank you guys for the subs today. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just trying to get better at this. It's a learning process every day. So I appreciate everybody stopping in. I appreciate the subs today. Try, thank you for the sub. Cheese, thank you for the sub. Fest, thank you for the sub, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. There's no doubt it's fun. It's just hard. It's like I said, total learning process. So I wanted to stream that today so I can go back and watch and listen to what Stu says again. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you again for Stu for with the coaching. If you guys are iRacing or thinking about iRacing, jump into the Muradness channel. Hit up Stu. Awesome dude. I've known him a long time. 10 years. He was following my stream about 10 years ago from the CSGO days. So definitely kind of cool to come around that way. So much love, everybody. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And hopefully I'll see you guys all soon. Much love.